Okay, so in this eye, you can see again clearly the bowels are the issue here. This is the bowel, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon. Okay, heavy lymph stagnation is the chronic side. You have a malabsorption ring. Okay, indicates you're not absorbing nutrients properly due to mucus plaque in the small intestines. You need to use a bowel cleanser and use the bowel strength tincture to clean it up. Around the eye is the purple hue is the cholesterol ring. Okay, and also as well there's a dark ring around the eye. That's a skin ring. Indicates the thyroid is not working properly, and the kidneys are not filtering out waste. So the skin is taking the burden from the kidneys, and the skin is not as effective as eliminating waste, so it's piling up underneath it. Okay, so you need to get the thyroid working better, you need the kidneys working better, and the adrenals. If you look closely around the bowels, you see a fine line going around it. That's an autonomic nerve root. Indicates that your nervous system is weak, especially as far as digestion is concerned. So you need to address it by working on the adrenals as well. You have fine lines leaching out of the pupil. That's called radii solaris. Indicates toxic tunnels of waste leaching out to other body parts and glands, especially the brain section right here. Okay, we need to clean that up as well. So the bowels are pressing, as I mentioned. The bowel section here, okay, the small intestines, the ascending colon is protruding a bit, is enlarged, okay, and so the transverse colon is chronic, and the descending colon is also enlarged. Enlarged bowels will occur when you eat the wrong food, and also when your parathyroid is weak. The tissue, the bowel strength is weak. So use the bowel tincture and use the bowel strength tincture to strengthen this. The other yellows you see, that's sulfur candida. It also means heavy lymph stagnation because the kidneys are not filtering out the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system will back up full of acids, okay, and become stagnant like this. So we need to clean up. Go 100% fruit diet, use herbs for the adrenals and the kidneys, and move the lymph system with lymphatic herbs as well. So here's the pituitary gland, okay, you can see it's heavy lymph stagnation, congestion. Remember I said this is the main endocrine gland that controls all the other endocrine glands like pineal, thyroid, adrenals. So it needs to be in good working order. Use the endocrine tincture to help strengthen this. Right here is where the pineal gland is located. This is responsible for sleep and hormone regulation. It is also compromised, so you need to use the endocrine gland tincture as well. So right here is the eyes. Here's the eyes, nose, upper jaw, lower jaw, tongue region. Okay, heavy lymph stagnation, congestion. This is called the sinuses. Heavy. When this is congested, obviously you feel uncomfortable, but also it means there's mucus in the head region. This can affect your ears, your eyes, and the endocrine glands in the head region. So I would use the neurological tincture and circulation tincture to help relieve this, but also use a neti pot to eucalyptus oil. Do some ear candling, do some hot and cold compress in the back of the head, chew horseradish root, anything to break the mucus and relieve it, okay? And clean the bowels because the head sits on the bowels, on the GI tract, sorry, and this needs to be, when it's congested, the acids can't drain out the head region. So I would use all those measures to address this. So right here is where the tonsils are located, and here is parathyroid, and right here is the thyroid. Okay, you can see it's compromised with lymph, heavy lymph stagnation, congestion. So I would use thyroid lymph tincture and address the parathyroid with the endocrine gland tincture. You may need a parathyroid glandula, okay? And the tonsils are the main lymph nodes of the head region. It's what drains acids out of the head or converts to lesser acids. So we need to address this, clean the head of the mucus as I showed you with the sinuses, and use the herbs as I suggested, because the when it's congested you have issues with draining acid out of the head region. Parathyroid is what's responsible for calcium utilization and tissue integrity. So when you have weak bowels like this, in large bowels, it's due to a weak parathyroid. So I'll address it with the thyroid tincture as well as the endocrine herbs as well. So right here is where the voice box is located. Okay, right here is the esophagus, and right here is the upper clavicle. Okay, heavy lymph stagnation, congestion. This you can get attention to this by using the circulation tincture and circulation herbs as well. Okay, right here is upper back region. Okay, right here is the middle back region, and right here is the lower back region. All heavy lymph stagnation, congestion. The spine runs right here. Okay, you can see clearly in your eyes. There's also nerve rings going around. Those are due to weak adrenals. Okay, and here nerve rings run across the spine region as well. So you have weak nervous system. So I would address it with the tinctures and 100% fruit diet. Okay. So right here is where the bladder is located. Right here is where the uterus and vagina region will be located. In the male is the prostate and penis region. All heavy lymph stagnation, congestion. Use the reproductive formulas for male and or female to help strengthen this, and use circulation down tincture to strengthen it as well. Right here is where the kidneys and adrenals are located. You can see the adrenals right here is dark. Okay, indicates weak adrenals. You need to use adrenal tincture and use an adrenal glandula perhaps, and 2 different kidney teas and a kidney tincture to address this. Okay, because this is crucial. When the kidneys and adrenals don't work properly, you can't drain acid out of your body. So it's very important that you address this quickly. Right here is the right foot, knee, and thigh region, okay, covered with lymph, okay, subacute level of lymph stagnation. All of your eyes full of yellow-brown color, that's sulfur candida, that's also subacute lymph stagnation, so this needs to be addressed. So right here is where the groin is located, the upper abdominal wall and the pelvis, okay, heavy lymph stagnation, congestion. And right here is where the testes and the pancreas are located. It's a heavy limb stagnation. So I would use the liver and pancreas tincture and use the female reproductive formula to strengthen this region. Right here is where the diaphragm is located, and right here is where the liver and gallbladder is located. You can see that dark spot there, that's the gallbladder, right is the liver. When the gallbladder is weak, you have issue with digesting fats, so we need to address this and clear it up. Use the pancreas and liver tincture. Liver is the chemical factory of the body. It's what transmutes chemicals, so you need to be in good working order. So like I said, use the liver and pancreas formula to help address and strengthen this. Right here is the hand and arm region. Okay, you can see it's full of lymph stagnation, congestion. Right here is this section here is the ribs, chest, okay, and thorax region. Heavy lymph stagnation, congestion. The breast is located right here. It's covered with lymph. Okay, so I would also address this. Use the respiratory tincture and respiratory tea to strengthen this region. Right here is the lower and upper lung region. Okay, also heavy lymph stagnation, congestion. Again, this needs the respiratory tea and the respiratory tincture to help break the mucus here. 100% food diet, of course. Right here is the shoulder, neck, and ear region. Okay, heavy lymph stagnation, congestion. So a lot of mucus here. And beside it is the mastoid medulla and the cerebellum, all heavy lymph stagnation, congestion. When the mastoid medulla is compromised, you'll have dizzy spells, equilibrium issues, balancing issues. So you want this addressed. Cerebellum is the hard drive of the brain. Okay, it's what gives messages between the brain and the rest of the body through the autonomic nervous system. Okay, so it's important to have these healthy. Use the brain herbs in the tincture called Neurological 1 and Circulation 2 tincture, very strong, and helps strengthen the brain region and move the mucus. Okay, with 100% food diet, of course. Right here is the sex impulse or libido section of the brain. Okay, you can see it's also consistent of lymph. So we need to strengthen it as well. So overall, the eye is full of lymph stagnation. The yellow-brown color you see is lymph stagnation. This is due to the fact that kidneys are not filtering, the adrenals are weak, the bowels are also compromised. You need to clean the bowels, use the bowel strength. The tincture, use the bowel cleanser as well to pull the mucus plug on the small intestines. This cholesterol in the actual pupil itself indicates potential eye issues or cataract issues. Strengthen the whole body, 100% food diet, use the herbs. It'll take a bit of time because this is quite congested. The liver, gallbladder weakness is here. You can see the skin here, the color here when it's brown, yellowish brown. That's liver weakness. Okay, and you have a lot of red blood vessels here. Indicates high acidosis in line with the cholesterol ring. So I'll be 100% food diet. I'll use the herbs I suggested and give it time. Make this part of your lifestyle because it can take a bit of time to clean this up. So a raw vegan diet is preferred. High food diet is preferred, and raw vegan diet is second. You should be on high food diet when you're on the herbs at the very least to clear things up.